Even though we live in the 21st century with advanced medicine and developed technologies, the chance of encountering an unforeseen life-threatening situation always remains. Advice number 1 that applies to all situations: don't panic. Yes, it's excellent advice, and most importantly, it works. But what's next? Want to find out? Then watch this video. The more the better rule has never been more accurate. What is a bystander effect? In situations of accidents or emergencies in crowded places, it's often observed that a large number of people stand by without offering help. This phenomenon has intrigued researchers since the 1968 murder of Kitty Genovese, when 38 witnesses failed to intervene despite seeing her being stabbed in front of her building. The presence of more bystanders tends to decrease the likelihood of anyone taking action, attributed to factors like diffusion of responsibility, where each person expects someone else to act. This could be particularly perilous in time-sensitive situations like drowning incidents. To counter the bystander effect, one study discovered that enhancing public self-awareness can reverse this tendency. Visualizing various emergencies and considering how one would respond in each scenario is suggested. While personal awareness as a bystander might not ensure individual safety, raising general awareness about this phenomenon increases the chance of someone stepping in to assist if you ever find yourself in trouble. It's a psychological give-and-take rule. Underwater grave. We've all heard stories of vehicles sliding off-roads into water bodies, leading to people getting trapped inside. According to the National Highway and Transportation Administration, about 400 people annually die in such situations due to the extreme water pressure, making it nearly impossible to open the door. Experts mention that there's typically less than a minute to escape, and several crucial steps can boost survival chances. First, unbuckle yourself quickly. Instead of trying to open the door, immediately lower the windows. If that's not possible, there are 2 options: waiting for the car to fill up or breaking the glass. Allowing the car to fill levels the pressure, enabling door opening, but this demands holding one's breath and is highly risky. Breaking the window is simpler, and various tools are available for this purpose. The longest fall. In our collective fears, there's a unique anxiety about being trapped in a falling elevator. Cases of elevator accidents are registered tens of times less frequently than accidents on railways, in autos, or at pedestrian crossing. But there's one specific incident of this happening in 1945 when a B-52 hit the Empire State Building, causing an elevator to plummet 75 floors due to severed cables. The chances of this happening are extremely slim due to modern elevator safety features. Despite that, Hollywood has capitalized on this nightmare of yours hugely, but still, hypothetically speaking, if your elevator were to fall, some experts suggest lying flat on the floor might be the best option, although it's risky. This could still result in significant injury due to impact or potential rupture of the elevator floor. Yet, if there's even a slight chance of survival, it's worth considering. Alternatively, you might hope for luck like Betty Lowe, Oliver the elevator operator in the 1945 incident, who holds the Guinness World Record for the longest survived elevator fall. Make eye contact. If confronted by an armed opponent or faced with a gun to your head, most of us hope we'd maintain composure and handle the situation calmly. Yet, reality might lead to losing control in unexpected ways. However, in such a scenario, one of the most crucial actions is to directly face the adversary and utilize psychology to your advantage. Establishing eye contact builds a human connection, potentially making it harder for someone to take drastic action. Typically, in situations like hostage-taking, bank robberies, or kidnappings, the assailant likely doesn't intend to harm you immediately, as they'd have done so already. Alongside keeping calm, many law enforcement officers recommend verbalizing every move beforehand and prolonging conversation to keep the situation under control. How to escape. If by any chance you're ever in a kidnapping or hostage scenario, knowing how to free yourself from restraints can be a crucial matter of survival. Law enforcement and military groups are increasingly using zip ties due to their portability and lightness compared to handcuffs or rope. However, similar to duct tape, zip ties have a weakness at the connectors. The The general method involves pressing the connectors against each other between your wrists, raising your arms above your head, and then swiftly bringing them down as if chopping wood, ensuring your arms stay straight to avoid hitting your hip bones. Alternatively, bringing your knee up. Mimicking snapping a stick in half can also help break the ties. This may lead to some wrist discomfort, but in a perilous situation with a captor, it's a much better option than the alternative. Wildlife is violent. For outdoor enthusiasts, staying safe around wildlife is a fundamental skill. Yet every year, incidents occur causing injuries and even fatalities. When dealing with bears, prevention is key. This involves measures like storing food away from campsites, making noise while hiking, and steering clear of bear cubs. However, if an encounter escalates into an attack, it's crucial to distinguish between a grizzly and a common black bear. If a defensive grizzly attack occurs, wildlife organizations advise assuming the cannonball position, curling into a fetal position with hands and arms protecting the neck, and playing dead. Grizzlies, being larger and more territorial, might back off if they perceive no threat. Conversely, if facing a black bear, especially one accustomed to human presence, playing dead won't deter them. It's better to hold your ground or attempt to retreat. If it's an offensive attack, defending yourself using deterrents, like pepper spray or a weapon, is recommended. This strategy also applies to cougar attacks, which are more likely to happen due to people trying to stalk the animal. We go in circles. Riptides' common natural occurrences along coastlines involve water flowing away from the beach into the sea. They can form due to differences in wave heights or pressure near sandbars, often being difficult to detect. When a swimmer gets caught in a riptide, it can pull them into open water, potentially dragging them under. The common advice is to avoid swimming against the current, but instead move parallel to the shore to escape. However, a study by Jamie McMahon from the Naval Postgraduate School revealed that around 90 riptides actually form circular patterns, meaning swimming parallel might still result in battling the current. McMahon suggests allowing the riptide cycle, which lasts about 3 minutes, to naturally return the swimmer to shore. Yet other factors like being pulled past breakers complicate this advice. Despite this discovery, the U.S. Lifesaving Association hasn't incorporated this new information into training, sticking with the recommendation to swim parallel to the shore for now. Well, at least there is an option. Can I eat this? When stranded in the wilderness with limited food and uncertain about which plants are safe to eat, the universal edibility test becomes crucial. The method involves examining different parts of a plant, stem, flower, rhizome, one at a time. If a plant emits a foul odor or causes skin irritation upon contact, it might be toxic. If it passes this initial assessment, the next step is to boil a portion, take a small bite, and wait for 15 minutes to monitor for any adverse reactions. While many survival experts and even the U.S. military regard this trial and error method as reliable, critics emphasize the extreme danger, highlighting that even minimal exposure to deadly plants like water hemlock can lead to severe harm or death. Therefore, this technique should only be considered as the one and only option. Poisonous. A biological agent attack surviving without a functional gas mask is highly unlikely. However, if faced with such a situation and lacking a mask, knowing the specific gas used might offer an infinitesimal chance of survival with the right knowledge and luck. For instance, in a chlorine gas attack, a method used by soldiers in World War I involved urinating on a cloth and breathing through it. The amine compounds in urine could crystallize chlorine, but the effectiveness of this technique is uncertain as chlorine reacts highly to ammonia, potentially producing toxic fumes. Another lethal gas, sarin, was infamously used in the 1995 Japanese commuter train attack by religious radicals. Sarin affects acetylene degradation, leading to asphyxia. Treatment involves administering atropine, which is found in trace amounts in various plants like deadly nightshade, henbane, datura, Jimson weed, and cannabis. And no, smoking it does not lead to immunity against the gas. Help. In the realm of survival, besides essentials like food, water, and shelter, warmth plays a crucial role. Exposure to the elements can swiftly turn a manageable situation into a life-threatening struggle. Particularly in water-related scenarios, hypothermia can set in within 3 minutes, underscoring its rapid onset. That's why several countries, such as Australia and Ireland, make help heat escape lessening position, a compulsory part of boating and life-saving training. This position, assuming the person wears an individual flotation device, involves hugging your torso and pulling your knees close to your chest. Hypothermia disrupts bodily functions and aims to retain body heat around vital organs, like the heart, to sustain core temperature until rescue arrives. Furthermore, if you're part of a group, huddling together not only minimizes heat loss but also enhances visibility to potential rescuers or passing boats. Of course, it's better to avoid all these situations, but you never know what life has in store for you. So make sure you've remembered all our tips from today's video. Share other tips in the comments to follow the more the better rule. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. And while you wait, check out our previous video about the worst vacation spots linked in the notification. Thanks for watching.